Welcome back to The Explainer. So today we're diving into something absolutely crucial, exactly how to clear 100% of your debt. Most people stay trapped in debt for years, and it's not actually because they don't make enough money, but because they're unknowingly playing the bank's game. They're just following the wrong strategy. So today we're breaking down exactly how people eliminate debt way faster than the average person. We're talking about relying on proven systems rather than just crossing your fingers and hoping for some massive magical jump in your income. If you've been living paycheck to paycheck or just feeling like you're stuck on this endless financial treadmill, you are definitely in the right place. Okay, here's our blueprint for today. We're going to cover the minimum payment trap, facing your numbers, stopping the bleeding, choosing your strategy, accelerating those payments, and finally, buying back your freedom. Let's jump right in. Section 1, the minimum payment trap. To really grasp why debt is actually a behavior problem and not just a math problem, the source material asks us to imagine a pretty fascinating scenario. Picture two people, right? They make the exact same salary, have the exact same living expenses, and they both owe $20,000. But here's the kicker. One person is completely debt-free in 3 years, and the other is still making payments 5 years later. I mean, it sounds like a riddle, but this literally happens every single day. So what actually made the difference? Well, person A succeeded because they had a concrete plan. Person B stayed stuck because they just paid the minimum balance on their statement. And that right there is the trap. Minimum payments are not designed to get you out of debt. They're mathematically engineered by banks to keep you on the hook for as long as humanly possible. Banks absolutely love it when you just pay the minimum because it maximizes the interest they collect from you over the years. If you want to clear 100% of your debt, you got to stop thinking like a profitable customer for the bank and start thinking like someone who demands their financial freedom. Moving right along to Section 2, face your debt numbers. To beat that minimum payment trap, you have to take inventory. It forces you completely out of denial. You need to map out every single thing you owe. Credit cards, the auto loan, student loans, even those sneaky little buy now, pay later balances. Next to each one, put the total balance, the interest rate, and the minimum payment. Now, is making this spreadsheet gonna induce a cold sweat? Oh, for sure. A lot of people avoid doing this because looking at the reality is genuinely painful, but hiding from your debt never actually makes it smaller. Facing the stress head-on with complete clarity, that is the only way you're going to beat it. All right, Section 3, stop digging the hole. The source material gives us this incredibly powerful metaphor. It says, imagine trying to fill a bucket with water while someone keeps drilling new holes into the bottom of it. You're frantically bailing water in through the top, but it's just rushing right back out the bottom. That is exactly what you're doing to your finances if you're trying to pay off debt, but you're still swiping your credit card for stuff you don't need. So what you have to do is give yourself a temporary financial reset. Just pause the subscriptions, hold off on the impulse buys, try cooking at home, and stick to cash or a debit card. And look, the crucial word here is temporary. This isn't about permanent deprivation where you never enjoy life again. It just means you are plugging the holes in the bucket for now. Remember, every single dollar you don't borrow is a dollar that never collects interest against you.
Now we're at Section 4, choose your repayment strategy.
The holes are plugged, so now we need an attack plan. The explainer highlights two really famous proven strategies. You've got the Snowball method, which targets the smallest balance first for those quick psychological wins. And then there's the Avalanche method, which targets the highest interest rate first to save you the absolute most money mathematically. If your only goal is paying the least amount of interest, Avalanche is mathematically better. But honestly, neither is wrong. The absolute best method is just the one you can consistently stick with. Consistency beats perfect math every single time. Let's break down the Snowball method really quickly, because if you struggle with motivation, this is a real game changer. You order your debts from smallest to largest. Pay the minimums on everything, but you throw every extra penny you can find at that smallest debt. Once it's completely gone, you take that money and roll it directly into the next smallest debt. By doing this, you're literally manufacturing quick wins. You get this huge dopamine hit watching an account hit zero, and it builds this fierce momentum. It turns a miserable process into a highly rewarding game. Section 5, accelerate your payments. With your strategy locked in, you need fuel for the fire. And surprisingly, you can find this without necessarily getting a second job. People always say, I just don't have any extra money. But when you really look at spending habits, there is almost always hidden cash. Unused gym memberships, paying way too much to have cold food delivered to your door, premium phone plans you definitely don't need, or just those tiny daily purchases that feel like nothing. Individually, yeah, they seem insignificant, but combine them and they are the secret fuel for your payoff plan, easily freeing up hundreds of dollars a month.
You also really need to watch out for windfalls. Tax refunds, a bonus at work, overtime pay, maybe a cash gift. Here is a massive secret. People who clear their debt incredibly fast just pretend this extra money never existed. The temptation to splurge is huge, I get it, but instead of upgrading their lifestyle, they immediately send that cash straight toward their debt. They upgrade their balance sheet instead.
And it really doesn't take thousands of extra dollars to see a shift. Even adding something relatively small like $50 to $100 extra a month drastically reduces your timeline. It eats into the principal so much faster, literally shaving months or even years off your debt and drastically lowering the total interest you pay. Small extra amounts repeated consistently month after month create surprisingly massive results.
Finally, Section 6, buy back your freedom. To safely cross the finish line, you have to avoid the behavioral traps that drag people right back into the cycle. So, don't take the bait and open a new credit card just for a shiny sign-up offer. Don't ignore your due dates and get hit with late fees. Definitely don't blindly borrow money to pay off other debt without thoroughly checking the terms. And most importantly, never trick yourself into assuming that some magical future salary bump will fix your spending habits today. And this perfectly captures the core realization of our source material today. You absolutely do not need to be rich to clear 100% of your debt. You just need a system. Debt isn't just about the numbers in your bank account. It's fundamentally about your daily habits. If you fix those habits by stopping new debt, picking a strategy, and consistently finding a little extra money to throw at it, the numbers will always, always follow.
As we wrap up this explainer, I want to leave you with this thought. Every extra payment you make isn't just sending money away to a bank. It's literally buying back something infinitely more valuable. It's buying your freedom. Once you execute this blueprint, your paycheck is finally yours to keep again. So, what incredible things are you going to do with your money once you are 100% debt-free? Think about it. Let that vision be your fuel. Thanks for hanging out with me for this explainer.